Suena Broken Free, así abrimos esta última parte del día de la fecha, este último Es Esto la Fábrica del día de hoy. Esta parte del programa en donde lo que hacemos es hablar de la industria de la música y de todos los cambios que han tenido en estos últimos años, nada más con la aparición de las tiendas musicales y ya no hace falta mover tantos containers y tantas cosas que muevan cosas para que a vos te llegue un disco grabado en la loma del Surgen en tu casa. Dicho todo esto, nos hemos siempre nutrido de diferentes diálogos, hemos hablado con artistas musicales, con productores, con sonidistas y con bandas, muchas bandas, y hoy es el caso de irnos para Sudáfrica para hablar con los amigos de Broken and Free que ya están con nosotros. Hi my friend, here is Manu, there is Raulo, are you listening me good?
I can hear you, can you hear me?
Excellent, I hear you. Excellent, my friend. Okay, this is what's gonna happen now. I'm gonna leave you with my friend Raulo. He's gonna make the exact question we make all bands from all parts of the world, and later we're gonna talk about the present of Broken and Free, okay?
Excellent.
Excellent, my friends.
Perfect. Sí, perfecto. We are live. We are going to start with the interview. So please tell us your full name, where are you from, and how old are you?
Well, my name is Dane Nation. I'm from sunny South Africa and I'm 35 years old.
35, okay. I'm going to make a little translation for the Spanish listeners. Estamos hablando con Dane, es de Sudáfrica y tiene 35 años de vida, 35 años. And can you tell us which is your first memory of you listening to music?
My father would like to say that it was when I was still in my mother's womb. He's a big rock fan, and apparently he would blast, Neil Young's Crazy Horse and Nirvana albums and AC/DC and Led Zeppelin as loud as possible, even before I was born.
Excelente, excelente. Really, really young. Ok. Bueno, nos estaba diciendo que le pregunté por sus primeros recuerdos escuchando música y el padre le gustaría que diga que es desde que estaba en la panza de su madre escuchando Nick Young, Nirvana y un montón de rock porque el padre es muy fanático del rock. And can you tell us which was your first instrument and the first song that you learned?
First instrument, the first love is definitely guitar. And I actually can't remember the first song that I learnt, but I can remember where that spark of inspiration came from. My father brought home a DVD of AC/DC live at Donington. And he was like, here, young man, have a look. And I popped it in the DVD player and I looked at this, and it's this noise and this energy, this high voltage. It just made me feel something I've never felt before, and I couldn't help myself. Right there in that moment, I'm like, I need to learn how to do that. So I can't remember the first one of those tracks I learned, but I promise you I learned every single one of them.
Uf, perfecto. Sí, bueno, su primer instrumento fue una guitarra. You remember the brand? It was a Fender, a Gibson, or it was a cheap one?
My father had an old, I think it was a Festa. Sort of a Fender knockoff guitar just lying around in the house somewhere, and then my father, having noticed the obsession for guitar, kicked in, and specifically Angus Young, he actually went and he bought me an Epiphone SG, and I still have it to this day.
Perfect. Red or black?
It's a black one.
A black one, ok, perfecto. Ahí está. Bueno, nos estaba contando su primer amor fue la guitarra. El padre tenía una guitarra dando vueltas por ahí. Su primera guitarra fue una Epiphone SG negra. Y bueno, es un gran amante de AC/DC porque, bueno, estaba dando vueltas un DVD por ahí, se hizo fanático, empezó a tocar.
Preguntale si alguna vez lo fue a ver en vivo.
Sí. Do you have the chance to went to a AC/DC concert?
No, unfortunately not. I don't think they've ever actually been in South Africa.
Okay. Yes, maybe. Sí, sorry for the question. Sí, okay. Sí, no vinieron, no fueron nunca a Sudáfrica. Perfecto. Sí. And can you tell us, this is a kind of personal question we make all the people all around the world. I was a metalhead, when I was young. I wear a black t-shirt. You have a black t-shirt, I have a black t-shirt. We are friends, Which kind of people do you met when you were young? It was always with musicians, or you play around with everybody?
So a little bit of background. I'm Afrikaans speaking. So generally speaking, I went to an Afrikaans speaking school, and the type of music that most Afrikaans home language speakers listen to isn't really rock or heavier music. It's more rugby and braais and that sort of thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But when I started playing guitar, when you start listening to that sort of music, when it becomes a part of who you are, your identity, you start bringing in more people, more like-minded people, and they just start finding you.
And you remember the first time you heard B.B. King solo, Stevie Ray Vaughan solo, that sounding with the guitar that blow your mind?
I do. Have you guys ever heard of the Alan Lomax tapes?
Oh, excellent, my friend. In Argentina we have a caso parecido. ¿Cómo se dice caso parecido?
Similar case.
A similar case. Le cuento I told to the listener a little quick. Alan Lomax grabó todo el Mississippi. They record all the Mississippi, and that the people discover Muddy Water first recording, and a lot of excellent recording. How do you get that material of Lomax?
YouTube. Late nights, just sort of trying to find some of this bluesy stuff. And I accidentally found this, I think it was Belton Sutherland. It's this old man with a joint hanging from his lips, sitting on a porch, and you can hear the cicadas in the background, and he's tapping his foot on that porch, and it's reverberating throughout the Mississippi swamp. And he's just playing on this guitar that doesn't sound like it's been tuned in any sort of traditional sense ever in its entire existence. But just the feeling that it invokes in the listener, it changed me. It changed the way that I listen to music. It changed what I think and what I listen to in music. That passion, that something raw, that something real, is for me way more important than virtuosity or how good you can actually play your instrument.
Excellent. Sí. I completely agree. The soul, of the instrument. Exactly. See? And can you tell us when you want to learn music in South Africa, you always have to pay, or you can get free lessons? You study music in school. How do you manage that?
Well, we live sort of in different times now. Now I think music is a lot more accessible. Anybody can go on the internet and find thousands of YouTubers that's giving out free lessons and good advice on how to learn the guitar. When I started playing the guitar, that wasn't really something that was that accessible.
Okay.
So you had to learn from tabs, just straight tabs, and you ended up figuring out very quickly how badly wrong most of these tabs actually were, which was such a blessing, because then you have to start listening to what you're playing more. Exactly. When you start developing your ear better. And still when I'm teaching people how to play guitar, I try and not, the notation is great, but a good musician is somebody that can listen. Exactly. You need to listen to what you're playing, listen to what the music is doing, and you fall in with that.
Perfect. And can you tell us which was the first concert that you went?
My father, as you know, he was he's an instrumental, such an important part in my musical journey, because he's the one who actually gave me exposure to all of these, different bands and like alternative rock and heavier stuff. So I think the first concert he took me to was probably Live. Do you guys know Live?
American Live.
Cry, and I think that was the first band, and then every other opportunity. When Bruce Springsteen came here, he took me. When Metallica, like name it, anybody who came to South Africa, my father didn't even ask whether I wanted to go or not. He's like, we are going, here's some tickets, let's go have some fun.
And I don't know if you know what I'm going to ask. When the bands went on tour to South Africa, they went to Europe. It's like America, South Africa, and Europe, or what kind of tours do they make when they stop in South Africa? What do you think?
I'm not entirely sure. To be fair, a lot of these bands haven't actually been touring in South Africa. I think the South African currency I don't think it's profitable for them to come and play 2 or 3 shows right here on the most southerly tip of Africa and then do a 14-hour, 15-hour flight to go and continue touring somewhere else,
14 hours to Europe, for example, more or less?
It's a long flight.
Okay.
It's a long flight, yeah.
I thought that it was a small flight. Okay. Sí. And really expensive. I can understand now. Okay. Muy bueno.
Vamos con la banda.
Sí, perfecto. Sí. Stop of personal question. We are going to start with the band live. Can you tell us how did Broken Free begin and why you put that name to the band?
Well, it wasn't actually me who came up with the name. It was our drummer, Quentin Gribb. And the name was in existence before I actually joined. The band has been together for a good 7 or 8 years, sort of members coming and going, trying to just find the right group of people. I think one of the most difficult parts about being in a band is actually finding 4 other people who are like-minded, who are seeing the big picture, willing to not make any money out of it for a while, just to stick together to actually see it through to the end. So the name, I quite like the name. I think it's very descriptive of who we are as a band, because we are certainly broke, but we are certainly free at the same time, because we get to actually play this music and we get to share it with other people.
Beautiful name. And you always are trying to express the soul of the music, and I like that. See, in April of 2023, you released your first EP, Don't Hate Me. How was the recording process of that?
So we recorded at B Sharp Studios. It's unfortunately does not exist anymore. I quite enjoyed the recording process. Not much to say about it. It feels like it was such a long time ago. We are 90% done recording our full-length album. And that's really where the focus and the mindset has been.
Perfect. See, well, in December of 2024, you decide to record a live video. It's now in YouTube. Why you decided to make a live session and put it on YouTube?
We found out that to try and capture the energy that we are putting out at our live concerts is actually incredibly difficult in a studio environment. It just kept on getting this feeling like it's not hitting you the same way as it does when you're actually live, when you're watching it in person. So we are actually also planning to release more live footage, a full live album, just to try and capture that spirit, that energy.
It is possible to make that, or you have to then go to and re-record it. What do you feel about that?
It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm perfectly happy just with everyone else. Let's just capture that lightning, whatever form it is, and we put it out there. It wasn't ever supposed to be perfect. It was just supposed to be real.
Perfect. So, do you have any composition process?
That is quite an interesting one, because does any songwriter, do any of us actually write our own music? And what I mean by that is, I feel like that creative thread almost gets presented to the artist from this cosmic ocean, this place unbeknownst to us. And it's up to the musician to actually start pulling on that thread and see what actually comes out of the other end. With lots of songs, on the full-length album that's coming soon now this year, Some of those songs, it took 10 minutes to write, simply because I could hear the full song in my head. I could hear it. It was there. I had to, as quickly as possible, just get it out, put it pen to paper, just so that I can pull it out of that sort of infinite creative ocean and just have it be here in 3D reality for us.
Excellent. Muy bueno, muy bueno. It's almost a poem what you're saying. Muy bueno. Sí, no, pues, habla súper bien, Manu. ¿Alguna pregunta?
Yes, I love the Love This Town song, and I noticed the image you choose for that song is the sneakers hanging from the lines power, lines power, you know? What means that? Because here in Argentina it means something. I want to know if they have the same signification, you know.
Well,
it means the same.
Isn't that also just one of the beautiful things about art, whether it is the visual medium or the listening medium? I almost don't want to explain what it means to me, because if it means something to you and then it means something different to someone else, it's like there's two different songs that exist in that perfect moment. And it almost doesn't even matter what I intended behind it. If it means something special to you, then that is exactly what that song is about, what the image is about.
Perfect.
But doesn't have a social meaning that everyone know what that means?
In South Africa, no, not really.
Okay.
It's,
now here is marks like a free zone where thieves and criminals can do as what they want, you know? In Argentina.
Really?
When you saw the sneakers on the power line, okay, be careful, you know?
Sí.
I love that. That's brilliant.
Okay.
Muy bueno, you understand everything. Sí, es un poeta. Es un poeta, mano. Sí. Muy bueno. You're a writer. Muy bueno. Sí. And can you tell us what things inspires you to write music or to make music? You know.
What inspires creative expression? How do you even begin to ask such a question? Emotions, who we are as human beings. We have to express ourselves, and I think it's even more so the case when you are a bit of a creative soul. We have to create. We have to express ourselves. It's actually such a privilege and honor to be able to shine a light, a different way of thinking about things that are just all around us every day. If we get the opportunity to make a joke at a serious thing and make a serious thing into a joke, I think that's actually quite a beautiful thing.
Muy bueno. I completely agree with that. Excellent. Because I was making that question because, you know, we want to know what do you think about artificial intelligence, and a lot of people told to us that we have to keep the creative spaces, you know, because they are disappearing because of the AI and that kind of things. What do you think about that?
Well, I can understand why there are lots of musicians that feel like their jobs are in danger, that the creative arts is busy being replaced by AI. There's a part of me that I can understand and sympathize with that point of view. There's another part of me that's like, listen, I don't think you're seeing the full picture yet. This is the greatest, biggest, incomprehensibly large tool that we as humans have ever had the privilege of wielding. And I don't think we've even begun to realize just how powerful this can be in the creative process. I don't think it has to replace anything. I don't think we have to lose anything in this. Some of my students are bringing me some of these AI created songs and asking me, can you please teach me how to play this song? So if this is giving you and me inspiration to actually pick up an instrument and start playing in the first place, I can't see how that could be a bad thing.
Perfect. It's interesting what you are saying. It's interesting. It's for me it's a tool, nothing more than that. So each one can say whatever they want. And can you tell us something about the future plans of Broken Free?
Well, we are going to be releasing our full-length album in about 3 or so months. We've been working really hard at it. It's a labor of love. The sound is a bit different to the track that you played earlier. You know, the earlier versions of the band was more blues-based. We've now started moving more towards a rock feel, a slightly heavier, more expressive feeling, trying to break out of the good old-fashioned 12-bar blues. You know, we want to be a rock band. We want to make it a little bit dirty. It must be a little bit rude at the same time. And I cannot wait to release this album. It's been 2 years in the making, and we're right here on the cusp of actually releasing.
Perfect. Then send to us the new songs, please.
Will do.
Perfect. Just to finish the interview, Manu, si te parece, terminamos la entrevista. Just to finish the interview, we are going to play Leave This Town. Can you tell us what did that song represents to you?
Well, it was written about an old band member. And he had a really tumultuous relationship with a woman. And I guess he needed to hang up his sneakers and leave the town.
Excelente, muy bueno. Thanks for that. Incredible, muy bueno. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time, and thanks for this time to the chance to talk. And we keep in touch, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me. I'll send those new tracks ASAP.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye bye.
Cheers.
Raulo, todo tuyo, Raulo, llévatelo, Raulo.
Fortune and fame. I've got to find the truth with the mind of a cartoon. I'll find out where it leads. Maybe I will finally see. Time to live my soul. Make music every time that I breathe. I know that I'll be strong. You know that I will always be free. Everyone has something to say except for me. I've climbed up way too far. I gotta bring it down and get off this ivory tower. I'm breaking down these walls to give me sunlight that I need. I don't mind if I fall. Don't care what people see. Don't have time to be obsessed with these reflections of me.